Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to moment number 4. I hope you've been having a productive weekend so far. This week has been full of energy in so many levels, spiritually, physically, psychologically. Been reading a lot, been learning a lot. And through that process, I've been learning the value of taking this knowledge and allowing it to expand your mind. Reason 4 is because when you expand your mind, then it affects how you approach life, which leads into why today's session is valuable and something you definitely want to listen to. Now, before I start, I like to start with my affirmations. Today's affirmation is don't be afraid to step out of your comfort zone. Okay. The mission today also is to speak with someone who has taken risks and is experiencing the results of that. And the goal of the day is to promote the connection one can make when you talk things out, when you expand on conversation. You just never know what you create from this. So don't be afraid to create conversations. And again, always push past your limits and what you're comfortable with. Okay? So without further ado, y'all, I'm going to give you 2 facts about today's guest, which she believes people should know about her. And I think people definitely should know about her because this woman is fierce. She's fierce. She's really fierce. And I love that about her because she actually inspires me to live more unapologetic. Okay, so the first thing you want to know about her is that she's a triple threat, y'all. Let me say that again. A triple threat. She does it all. She's multifaceted. She's always open to learning. She doesn't stay stuck on one thing. And if she is studying one thing, she wants to perfect it and she wants to be really good at that. So triple threat, y'all. Don't mess with her. The second thing is she's a neurodivergent person, meaning she struggles with autism, ADHD, and dyslexia. However, when you get to meet her, she's done an incredible job at developing through this condition. The way she carries herself, the way that she uses her language to express her life and who she is absolutely amazing. So don't get confused with these labels, but I think it's also valuable that she wants people to know this because when you get to know her, it's like you don't even, it's hard to tell. It's hard to tell, but that's because she's been working really hard at that. Okay, so without further ado, y'all, let me introduce you to Ollice, which you can call her Ali or anything more powerful than that. But I'm going to go ahead and let her introduce herself a little more, and then we're going to get to it.
Yes.
Hi.
Close enough. It's Ollice.
Oh, Ollice. Look at that.
Ollice. Or Ali. Either one. I'm good with that.
Yeah. Of course. And tell us more.
Yes. Well, I just moved to New York about a month ago. And this was definitely an uphill battle. I went through absolute hell before I got here. So I'm just really thankful to be here first and foremost. But yeah, I've only been here a month and I've just been meeting people and just like putting myself out there and really just pushing myself to just go for it. I mean, being here is already like just going for it. But like I've been trying my best to do what I can to make my dreams come true, do what I want to do.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's a big word, dreams. And you're not just dreaming it, you're going towards it.
Oh, yeah, it's an actual reality. All my dreams are reality. And if anything, I actually speak all of them into existence. So I am a Broadway performer and I'm a dance choreographer and I am a jazz singer and I perform at all the best venues in New York City. I do. And it's funny because my friends will call it, they'll be like, oh my gosh, like she's saying her daily delusions. I'm like, it's not a delusion. It's an affirmation and it's real because every time I speak into existence and I actually work at it, it happens. It always happens. And I know it will happen. If I don't have faith in it, then it's not going to happen.
Yeah, of course. And I wouldn't even be surprised. I mean, just with the energy that you carry yourself with is strong. You see, the way you speak with conviction, even the way you look. I mean, I think I told you this before, like the way you look, you see, it's intense and
it's intense,
determined, you see, and that has a lot to do with how you manipulate the energy that is necessary to make these things happen. You see, and I'm so happy that I'm here with you and able to document just another person who decided that if I don't make the move, nobody else is going to make it for me. You see, and that leads into the risk that you took. I mean, you were living somewhere else. Tell us a little bit more where you used to live. Yes. And, the process into getting here.
Yeah, so I used to live in Kentucky. So I lived in Kentucky and I moved to Ohio to pursue my jazz singing career. I got a band. And from there, I just knew that I wanted something bigger. I wanted something more. I had a lot of ideas for myself, but also I just wanted to grow and expand my artistry, and I felt like that was important because it's great when people tell you that you're amazing all the time. It feels great. It's a very stimulating feeling, but it takes a true artist to know that a bunch of compliments are not gonna help you all the time. Critique is important. I actually have learned to enjoy constructive criticism. It's a very uncomfortable thing, which is understandable because, if somebody gives you constructive criticism, it's not going to be, "Good morning, sweetie, how you doing?" It's not going to sound like that. It's going to sound like, a slap in the face. But I appreciate constructive criticism, and I have a huge admiration for it. So I knew that I needed to grow in my artistry if I wanted to meet those goals that I had for myself. New York was a ticket. So I auditioned for the New York Conservatory, which is the conservatory that I'm going to now. And when I got in, I was like, okay, this is my time. And it was very scary. I'm not going to lie. When you're in a small town, you can often adapt the small town mentality. So you will just get used to what makes you happy. And it's not that great if you're an artist, because once you get into a space where you're performing and you're really, really good, everybody in the town will tell you that you're amazing all the time. Perform at the same places, always get the big roles or whatever, and you just stay comfortable because a small town is comfortable. It's safe. No one's gonna hurt you. No one's gonna hurt your feelings. It's just everyone expects this of you, and you do it. But will you grow? No, you're not gonna grow. And I want to grow. I yearn to grow. I have to grow. I can't just, there will never be a point in my life where I can just stop and say, okay, now I can stop. Now I don't have to practice anymore. I don't have to, I'm good. Everyone thinks I'm amazing. So I can stop now. I've seen artists do that before.
Right.
They will get comfortable in their space and they're not continuing to grow. They don't think, oh, I don't need to get better because I'm already better. Because you're listening to what everyone else is telling you.
That's significant. I remember I was listening to this podcast, and this one man said, it got to a point where I had to be careful with people's compliments because the compliments can also be oppressive. You see, they could even be coming from people who are not even supportive of you. They're just saying it because everybody else is saying it. And so, let's say somebody's, people keep telling you, yeah, you're so talented, you're so skillful. But what are they doing with that? They're just telling you this, but are they telling you, yo, I would love for you to, I would love to support you for you to travel somewhere else so you can take your skills elsewhere, so you can expand, so other people can see your stuff. You see, like seldom do people really do that. You see, so compliments can also be oppressive in themselves. And that's something that I also been learning. You see, when people tell me, Stan, you're so this and that, I'm like, yes, thank you so much. But I feel much more inspired to inspire you to take action and not just to tell me these things that fade in 5 seconds.
It's true. It's very true. I think, but also one thing I did have to learn while understanding that is that it means a lot more when someone gives you a compliment and they explained why what you did affected them.
Oh, yes.
Why what you did was important, or why it was good. Because then you can have a light of positivity on what it is that you're doing, because it is good to have that criticism and to keep working at it, but you also have to appreciate your work. You have to. If you don't appreciate what you've been working for a long time, if you're performing, if you're singing, if you're doing whatever, if you don't appreciate what you've been working for so long, that light and that spark that you have for what you do and what you love is going to go away. So even with compliments, take the good ones for what they are, but the ones where they mean something, really take that in. Take it in. Don't just shove it off, you know. And it's easy to do that, because I used to be really bad at taking compliments. I just couldn't. It was really uncomfortable for me. I was just like, oh, thank you, shut up. But now I'm great at taking compliments. It took a long time for me to get there, but compliments, it's a two-way street, you know. But it's important how you take things. Everything's a choice. Remember that? Everything's a choice.
That's what she said.
Well, shit. Oh shit, you getting all up in that, Stanley?
That's what she said too.
No. Oh my god. Oh my god! I walked into that one, guys. But
you walked like 3 times, and I'm
gonna keep walking into them. It's great. It's amazing.
No, I think there's a lot of light in what you're saying, you know, and I had a question beforehand, but you answered it already.
I did.
You know, my question was, what comes up for you when people say, "Damn, you really took that leap of faith," but you really went, you already spoke about that before. You know, it's like you must grow, you have to grow. You see, it's not like you should. You're more in the I must, I have to, and that changes the game, because you're no longer dreaming about growing. You have to grow. If you don't, it's just not going to work for you.
Yeah, there's no choice.
There's no choice, right?
There's no choice. If you don't have the mentality of like, there is no like, I need to grow, I need to grow, then you're going to be stuck in the same place forever, man. You're going to be stuck in the same moves. When you're choreographing, you're going to get frustrated, because you know that you keep doing the same repetitive shit, and you're not, because you haven't grown and expanded and taken different classes and gotten new perspectives. Like, it is so important to get out there and grow. You cannot stay in the same place. You can't. Right. And the thing is that there's a difference between being safe and being comfortable.
Tell me more.
Yes. Okay. Now, when you're safe, that means that you are in a place where you feel the most you, and you feel like this is exactly where you're supposed to be at in life and what you're supposed to be doing. And being comfortable means that you feel comfortable. Feel fine here. Feel like, okay, I'm fine. I can breathe. That's good. I don't feel, you know, yeah, I'm not like I'm not fully doing the splits like I should, but you know, I feel good here. So who cares? You know, I feel comfortable. You know, I'm not really reaching that goal that I did want to get to, but you know, I did get through that first step, and I feel fine here. So what's the point? So
not being challenged. You're not being challenged. You're good.
Yep.
You're the big fish in the small pond type of thing, or you're the big fish with the other big fishes.
And that's where the compliments can get you.
Right.
That's where they can get you. If you are in a place where you're comfortable, you can be comfortable and safe at the same time. But if you're in a place where you're comfortable, and then you apply a bunch of meaningless compliments. Now, I'm not saying that when people say that you did great, it's meaningless, but what are you gonna do with that? So what? When he tells you, oh wow, your dance is great. Okay, I'll give you an example. When people tell me, because I'm not gonna lie, I get told that I'm pretty probably 40 times a day. I'm not, and I'm not even saying that to brag. The thing is that people tell me that because when they see something They appreciate it. So they want to express how they feel. So when people tell me, "Oh wow, I think you're pretty," I'm like, "Okay, thank you. I'm glad you feel that way." That doesn't do anything to me. Now, it's a choice. It's a choice. I could let that go to my head, and I could be like, "Oh my gosh, like, everybody thinks I'm just gorgeous." Yeah. Like I'm just, and then you can go to that space. But if people are just telling you how they feel, acknowledge it. It doesn't have to be any deeper than that. Don't take it to a place of entitlement. Don't ever do that. Any compliment you get, don't take it to any entitlement. I don't care how hard you've worked. You're not better than anybody else on this whole planet. Does not matter who or how many people are telling you how amazing you are. You are no better than a person walking down the street. Everybody is the same. So when someone just tells you how they feel, that's how they feel. And that's it. You're like, okay, that's great. You say thank you because it's the polite thing to do, but that's how they feel. Right. And that's fine. So that's how I take it with compliments. Like, I'm glad you feel that way. I'm glad you feel that way. That's not going to affect me necessarily, but that's good. Good for you. And that's worked for me. Yeah. Yeah.
That's big.
It keeps me humble. Yeah. Yeah. I always want to be humble. I wake up every day and I'm very thankful to be in the city. And it's so crazy because a lot of people complain. It's easy to complain about New York, especially me being a neurodivergent person. I'm very, very sensitive to everything. The sounds, the smells, the lights, everything is a lot. The city is a lot. I have to carry earplugs with me just so I can get through the day sometimes because it's too much if my medicine wears off. And I could some people would even argue that it's more reasonable for me to complain about this city, but I don't. I never do. I don't open my mouth and complain. Now, it's okay to take a moment to explain how you feel and what's frustrating you. But once you get it out once, you leave that shit behind. It's in the past now. Right. Now you move on and you pick what you're grateful for, because you keep complaining about everything else around you. I mean, then you're gonna get an energy that you don't want. Right. Yeah. Really bad energy that you don't want. And then you're gonna be complaining a lot more. It's just gonna keep coming and coming. Be grateful for everything. Everything.
Grateful, gratitude. Yeah.
Even the bad things. Yeah. Because there is no good without bad. There's no bad without good. So be grateful for it. Find what you can be grateful for in it, if that makes any sense. And because I've done that, I'm happy every day. I genuinely can say that. I genuinely can say I'm happy every day.
That's amazing. And it's evident that you ain't no basic chick, man. You ain't no basic chick. Come on now. I ain't no
basic chick, okay? Right? Put some respect on my name.
Right. Jeez. And, it's evident that you have this profoundness about you. And that is what pushes you to see things in a broader perspective, which is the reason why you were so inclined to take that risk, to move to a city that you've been here before, but never really experienced how you're experiencing it now. Living here, living the life in New York, which is really fast paced, and you really got to step up your game in terms of the way you think, the way you move in the city with so much human traffic outside, even the work, the competitiveness and all that stuff, which you was already ready for, you see, because look at the fierceness, so it's evident that you already possess those genes, those cells that are ready to replicate in a way where it's like, I'm getting uncomfortable, but through this discomfort, I'm gonna learn more about myself, so this is something that's gonna continue, right? So my next question to you would be, is there something else, even if it's further down in the future or in the near future, that you are willing to take a risk for? So moving to the city for dance is one thing, right? For dance and, Broadway theater, stuff like that. Now, further down the line, if you can see it, is there something you're willing to take a risk for?
Gosh, man, just getting me all crazy. That's what she said.
That's what she said.
Okay. Honestly, Probably going out and auditioning again. That would be
Auditioning for what?
For different projects, for shows, for movies, for TV, all that stuff. I was a professional dancer back in 2017, 2016, and that was a very I just wasn't in. It wasn't the right time for me.
Okay.
It wasn't the right time for me. And it kind of, I wouldn't say it scarred me, but it made me hesitant to ever work on anything again, because it was really tough. It was really, really tough. I was very young. The industry was very cruel. It was really sexual at the time, and I have no problem with that, but I think I was 16, 17, so I was just really young and unexperienced, and all of it made me really uncomfortable. And so I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. I want to go home. She was like, I spent so much money. I was like, I don't give a fuck. And so I went back home. And ever since then, I've been doing my own thing and my own projects. But I've always been really hesitant to join another project. Just from that experience that I had. And it's so interesting because I'm a very open person, and even when bad things happen, I always come out of it. Always do. And I always do because I have faith. I have faith that it will get better, and I take steps. I take the steps to get better. But that's still something that I'm really, really scared to do, but I'm gonna do it anyway.
Love that.
I'm going to do it anyway.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's a big risk that I am going to take. I know that I'm going to take it, because once I graduate school, that's kind of the purpose. I have all of this knowledge, and I'm basically going to be trained to be a performer. So I'm going to have to audition. I'm going to have to look for projects, and it's going to be scary, and I know that's something that's going to be really difficult for me. And I'd be a liar if I said that I am just fearless through everything. I don't give a shit. I'm cool. Like, I can do this, because there are many times where my anxiety gets to me, and I leave and I go home and I cry and I get really scared, and that's okay and that's fine. I just have to acknowledge my feelings. The problem is that if you don't acknowledge your feelings, if you don't sit there and be like, okay, I'm scared, I'm nervous. Okay, I feel like I'm gonna cry. Okay, I feel like I feel sad. I just want to go home. You have to acknowledge that. If you don't and you ignore it, that's the thing that people do, which I find interesting. They'll also do it with manifesting as well. They'll manifest a feeling, but they're not acknowledging the current feeling that they have. Right. You have to acknowledge it. You have to say, this is how I feel. And you have to sit in that feeling. You have to sit in it. It's uncomfortable and nobody likes it, but you have to sit in it, because if you don't acknowledge it now, then later on, it's going to come to bite you in the ass. And it's going to hurt even more. You have to acknowledge it. And then you have to take important steps to get through that feeling, so then you can push on and move forward. That is the only way that I was able to get through panic attacks and anxiety and just doubting myself, because there were so many times I doubted that I could move here. I was like, I don't even know if I can navigate the subway. Fuck, I need my mom for everything. I call her for everything. I was like, I don't even know if I can do this. Right. But I had to acknowledge that I was scared. And then I had to take the steps to get through that feeling.
Right.
That's all I got to do.
Right. Yeah, I wanna before we close out here, I wanna tell you that you are incredibly bright. You're absolutely bright, and I'm gonna look down a couple of years from now. I'm gonna look back at this session, and I'm gonna be like, yeah, I had a podcast session with her. You see, but besides that, what intrigues me the most about you is your tenacity, is your audacity, your unapologetic self. It's something that I want to tap into myself. I mean, I'm tapping into it, but being around you reminds me to continue to do so, because it looks so amazing. It shows up so amazingly, and it feels unbreakable, you see. And it's important to feel, of course. It's important to feel the failure when it's there. It's important to feel the defeat when it's there. But the qualities that have taken you where you're at now is more dominant than anything. And that trust in the Most High is more dominant than anything that tries to interfere. So, you know, seeing where you're at now and seeing how much that's going to be developed, it's more than a triple threat. It's more than that. You see? So I just want to say, you know, you're doing it, is what I want to say. You're doing it. What are you doing? Whatever it is that you're doing.
Yeah.
You know, you're doing it.
Whatever the hell it is I'm doing.
Whatever it is you're doing it. Whatever hell you're doing is what you're doing.
Just know, I may not know what the fuck I'm doing, but I know what the fuck I'm doing.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. So, you know, without, you know, before we close out, what is something that people need to hear? What do people need to hear? Let's just pretend you're in a crowd full of let's say 100K people right now. You're in a stadium. Everybody's looking at you, and they're waiting for you to say the word. What would you tell people?
It's okay to be honest.
It's okay to be honest.
It's okay to be honest with yourself, with your feelings, with others. Don't compromise your comfortability for other people. Don't do it. In any situation, in anything. I mean it, in all of it. Be honest. If you don't feel like hanging out with somebody today, you don't feel like sacrificing your energy for another person because you need it for yourself, be honest. If you feel like you are not growing in a place where you want to grow, be honest with yourself. Be honest.
Mic drop. Mic drop, ladies and gentlemen. And if you made it this far, I want to say thank you. And if you've been supportive of this platform, I also want to say thank you. And I'm hoping that maybe you can come in and spit your experience, spit your knowledge, information that I'm 100% sure that people are starving for. You know, for example, having this queen here has spread so much knowledge here, and I'm excited to update it. I mean, to upload it because it's so valuable. You know, I'm gonna have so much fun like writing the biography. Like, oh, this is the bio. I had this fierce individual in here, and I was just like, you know. But other than that, you know, thank you so much for being supportive. And without further ado, you know, let's close out. And I want to send you love, send you light, and send you the energy that is necessary for you to realize that there's much more to life than just Instagram. Ladies and gentlemen, Stan Jahadi. This is the Undervalued Podcast. I'll see you soon. Stay elevated.
See ya.
Stay elevated.
Stay elevated.
Yes, sir. Peace.